beauties! So today I'm going to go over a glittery cut crease for you guys using some of my all-time favorite products. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. Okay, so I'm going to start with brows today. I feel like starting with your brows helps to really kind of shape and frame the face. I like to start right at the front to kind of give myself an idea of the thickness that I kind of want for my brows. I like to kind of start at the front and work my way back. This way I can kind of determine where the gaps are of my brow and how best to fill those in. I like to kind of just draw a straight line from the full thick part of the front of my brow straight to my tail, so you can see that you get like a nice defined shape and it still kind of follows the natural line of my brow without looking too heavy. And then from there I can kind of just adjust. Combing is super important because that way the powder isn't too thick. So we're on to concealer now. With a small flat brush, I'm going to clean up under the brow, making sure to blend it down, and as well on the edge of the tail. I don't like to go all the way across the top of my brow because then it looks like a halo. Foundation time. Using a beauty blender, nothing crazy. I'm not using the bottom of a shoe. I'm not using, a condom filled with anything. It's just a beauty blender, the original. It's a great time. It's super effective and, it's not gimmicky and oh my god, it works! Look at that. It's just blending. Now I'm going to add some concealer. Again, this is the NYX HD Concealer. Using that under my eyes because God knows I need it. Yep, gonna add a little bit in some spots where I have some extra redness or maybe some blemishes. And again, beauty blender. The thing that's great about the beauty blender is that you always have your foundation in the beauty blender, and then that way it kind of helps to mix everything together so that you get a nice, smooth, consistent application. So now I'm gonna highlight. I'm using the Kat Von D Lock It Concealer in L1 rather than whiteout, just because I really don't think I need to look any paler than I already am, and this color is light enough as it is. So again, it helps to keep me from looking too pale because I have that foundation already in my beauty blender to kind of help to minimize the extra whiteness that I'm getting from the concealer so that it's a little bit more smooth and slightly less jarringly white. Getting it all mixed up there. Oh my god, I'm so pale. Wow, so pale. Alright, so this is my all-time favorite setting powder. I love it because it helps to set without giving you a completely sort of dry looking matte finish. It's got a tiny bit of iridescence to it, which is great. And I'm going to bake a little bit more and leave the excess powder under my eyes because I'll be working with darker colors and don't want any fallout that's going to ruin it. So I'm using Tattoo Liner because it's a super, super fine brush tip. And as you can see, I get that clean, perfect line just in one go. And I love this liner for that because it's so precise and just really makes this kind of detailed line work very, very easy. So this is how I'm going to outline the cut crease. So starting with the line, I'm going to then build the shadow over top of it with my small, flat, kind of fluffy brush using a light brown. So I'm working right along the line to kind of blend that shadow out nice and smooth to give myself a color to kind of blend into. I'm going to start deepening it with a slightly darker brown to kind of help build that line and that depth. Working my way up to using black rather than just trying to smoke out a black with nothing to blend it into. So for me, the trick to blending is making sure you've got a good gradient going. So now I'm going to use the black as close to the line as possible, blending it into the browns to get a nice fade so that I don't have a thick solid line. We want it to be a nice smoky smooth line. You can do this with any colors, doesn't have to be black and brown, that's just what I chose to use. So this is a small blending brush. I like it for this kind of work because it doesn't bring the shadow outside of the lines that I've given myself, but does help to kind of blend it and soften them. So you can see it really helps to diffuse the edges without, making it too wide or too thick, which is what we want to avoid with a cut crease. I'm going to add this beautiful midnight blue shade on my lids. I'm using a very kind of small pencil tip brush to press the shadow right onto my lid to avoid having any kind of intense fallout. Again, that's why I put down the powder guard under my eyes. Don't want to have to go in and fix my concealer and foundation after the fact. So slowly building the color. Doesn't have to be perfect because I am going to go over it with something else. Very excited for you guys to see. It's so beautiful. I've switched to a smaller chisel brush to kind of define the tail of the shadow. The other brush was a little wide for it, so I'm just making sure to get that nice smooth tail. This is a shadow primer. It's nice and pigmented but neutral, so I'm just going to use that to clean up between the line of the shadow and the line of the cut crease so that I have that clean, crisp line of demarcation between the two sections of the shadow. So you can do this with a concealer. I like the primer because I feel like it's a little bit thicker, and then it helps the shadow that I'm going to put over top of it to stick a little better. So I'm using a combination of the two lighter shades to just gently press along the line to brighten it up and keep it nice and white as more of an obvious demarcation, as I said. So I'm using a chiseled kind of flat brush for that to just press the shadow into the primer. And here I'm just deepening the crease a bit. This is magic. So with this, I like to use a liner brush or any kind of smaller, thinner brush, just because it gives me a little bit more control of placement of the product, because it is a liquid and it does take a little bit more drying time, and then this way I have more control and I don't end up getting smudges or any kind of issues. And then that way I can get right along the edges of my shadow and have it be as precise and clean as possible. It's so pretty. It makes me feel like a mermaid. Look at it. Oh my god. Yep, here we go. Drying time. This took forever. So long. Alright, now this is just a better angle of the other eye so you can kind of see. It's pretty simple to apply. You can use the wand, but I find when I'm trying to keep my edges super clean, I'm not layering it over a smoky eye, I like to use a more fine brush. More drying time, more drying time. Alright, now I'm just brushing the excess powder from under my eyes, making sure that there are no spots where anything has stuck that I'm going to have to clean up, and I managed to avoid it. Alright, now we're going back in for the underside of the eye, right along the lash line. Need to remember to angle my face up a little better next time. My bad. This is my favorite. This is the highlighter from the Pat McGrath DARKSTAR kit. It's so beautiful, so perfect for this look. Just wanted to kind of tap it on the inner corner and a little bit on the brow bone for a bit of a highlight and some beautiful kind of blue reflectivity. Contouring away. I really don't think I need to explain this part. We've all seen so many contour videos. Just blending. I like to use a fluffier brush to get a nice diffused look. I prefer powder to cream for this exact reason. I find that it just looks a little more soft on the skin and you get the same effect. Blush. This is the blush that I got in my birthday gift from Sephora. So with blush, you kind of want to layer it a little bit over the contour, but between the highlight, you kind of want to think of it like Neapolitan ice cream. You got chocolate, strawberry, and vanilla. Mascara, again, really straightforward. Just mascara. I always do my bottom lashes. Always, always, always. I feel like my eyes look small if I don't, but that's a personal preference. These are my favorite new lashes. This brand is so fantastic. Their lashes are $5 and they're a faux mink. They are absolutely amazing. I really encourage you to check them out. The line is called Killa Beauty. I'm pretty pleased with all of, I got 4 different pairs. I'm really happy with all of them. Trying to get that on there. I used the wrong hand for this one, so I had to switch. It's causing me a little difficulty, but I got it on there just fine in the end. All right, here we go. Last thing, highlight. Well, not last thing. Still got one more. I love this stuff. It literally makes me look like I just got out of the water or something. It's such a beautiful, dewy highlight. Look at it. It's fantastic. Love, love, love. And of course, because I am so extra, always add a little bit of a lighter highlight on top, just to make sure and add that dimension to really volumize my highlight, because if I'm not glowing to the gods, I'm not happy. This is one of my all-time favorite liquid lipsticks. It is the perfect nude shade for me. I'm absolutely in love with it. It lasts through burgers, it lasts through salad, it lasts through me trying to remove it with several different things. The only thing so far is just leaving coconut oil soaking on my mouth until it slowly comes off. My favorite setting spray of all time. It's like $10 and it's amazing. And here's our finished look, ladies and germs. Okay, so that's our finished look for the day. Please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you guys want to see more from me. And please feel free to always comment and let me know what you guys want to see.